Hello everyone, Relgan here again. This time I want to show you how I play 2H Mutalisk into Swarmhost in this GM level ZvT replay. So let's start right off. I go for my pool first opener that I play almost every ZvT. The reason why I do this on this map is because I don't really need the early link speed, and going for the super fast pool allows me to put my first 100 gas straight into lair while getting out a second queen in my main base and moving the first queen down to the natural, then getting the lair there, adding an additional gas as soon as I start my lair. As soon as the lair finishes I get 2 more gas and I get the super fast spire out, and only then, when I already started my lair, do I start my link speed with the next 100 gas. So it's a super fast build to get out 2H Mutalisk. 2H Mutalisks on this map are really good because a lot of Terrans go for this abusive angle over here with tanks, as we will see, where they try to drop tanks to harass the Zerg. Right here we see it, and I cannot really reach this tank with my queens. So I'm trying to zone out the medivac so the tank does not shoot at the mineral line drones, but it's a little bit tough. I can use links to deal with these tanks, but then he will simply load the tanks into the mineral line and keep harassing. However, the early Mutalisks help me deal with the harass, and I'm in a pretty good position because these Mutalisks were out at the 5-minute 30-second mark. Before I continue, let's have a quick look at the follow-up. I'm going for 2 evolution chambers, a baneling nest, an infestation pit. I have my 2 bases fully droned. This one of course lost the gas, so there are no 3 drones in it right now. And then I already start droning my 3rd base. So I built these Lings, I built these Mutas. I'm using the Lings to harass because if he did not have this bunker I could straight up kill him. I'm just trying to do some damage, making sure that he does not get his 3rd base too quickly. Trying to get a couple depots, some gas damage, some SCVs. The Mutalisks have no real worth for me as I only get them so I'm safe against early liberators and that I can freely drone up my 3rd base without being harassed too much. So worker wise I already killed 7 workers and I'm up 25 right now. That's of course very good. But I want to talk about how I make my transition to Swarmhosts this game. That's the key point, and I want to show you how I actually use these Swarmhosts. So this is the important part. I want to reach saturation on all my 3 bases, then I can take my 4th, and of course once I break down these rocks, my 5th. Once I fully saturate 3 bases, I'm ready to go for the Swarmhosts. Usually there are a couple ways you can play Swarmhosts. Some like to go for a Nidus over here, unload the Swarmhosts, fly in the Locusts, load the Swarmhosts in again, and have them ready again by the time the Terran pushes across the map. Others like to have a mobile squad with Overlords, as you can also see in one of my recent uploads, a game on Arena. Put the Swarmhosts in the Overlords fly around, drop the Swarmhosts here, lift them up again, fly down here and are safe again. So there are a lot of ways to use Swarmhosts. I usually just like to borrow them. Cheaper, doesn't really require as much micro, and they still do a decent job. Now, these Mutalisks are not really going to do too much, especially if he builds a couple more Liberators and even gets the Liberator damage upgrades, and the Mutalisks really do nothing at all. So any damage I can get done with them right now is really good, because in the fight I don't really need them. Right now I'm starting to build Corruptors. I should get the armor upgrade at some point, I'm not quite sure. And once I feel comfortable in terms of drones, I get the Swarmhosts out. I use Ling Bane with upgrades of course, to deal with the ground army, and the Corruptors deal with the medivacs and liberators. This is kind of what Dark does. He sometimes uses Roach Ravager as well in this composition, but I prefer to go Ling Bane Corruptor. And of course Swarmhosts. So let's see what these Swarmhosts do. Workers killed 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 26, 27, 28. 28 workers killed, and at least 1 turret just fell down to these Swarmhosts. And where are they now? They're over here. I didn't have burrow yet ready, so I couldn't burrow them there. Now we're ready for the next wave. The Swarmhost go in position again. Let's have a look. I'm just gonna look at the fight while we can look at the workers killed over here. Ling Bane goes in, does a decent amount of damage of course. His army managed to clean it up. However, in the meantime he lost a lot of workers again, and now I'm up 30 workers. So at this point the Terran has to push, and he does not have that big of an army as that he could simply walk over me, especially small tank count, almost no Thors. Had a lot of halberds yet, but he lost them mostly defensively against Banelings. Now all I have to do is defend this push. Already got my hive as well. Got this base up. Got this base up. Only mining minerals because I only really want to build Lings right now and Banelings, so I don't really need too much gas. There's no reason to take gas if you can't spend it. Just want more minerals. Now the Swarmhosts go in again, the Locusts. Banelings roll in, of course he does a decent job cleaning them up. Loses however all but one Medivacs again, the Locusts go in, do even more damage. This was just 6 Swarmhosts though, so I did not manage to completely clean up the Terran army. Then the next wave of Ling Bane goes in. Not perfect micro by me, but can't always micro perfectly. And manages to barely clean it up, but he can't really push with this small of a force, and he has trouble remaking his units at home. So he was going for kind of a 3-base all-in. So he goes for another attack. I thought, well, he's probably going to attack over here now, but he attacks over here instead. Takes out that base. The Liberators quickly fall against the Corruptors. Swarmhosts get burrowed so they do not die, and they're moving across the map again. Now he has this small force right here. I didn't really expect him to take a fourth at this point, so I didn't even bother checking. Swarmhosts go in, looking at the workers killed, already up to 44. Almost taking out the orbital as well, but eventually succumbing to the bunker. And then finally notice how he took this fourth, well, and I'm just gonna kill him. Go in, chop him apart. And that's it. So, quickly want to reiterate what I did this game. I went for a fast 2H Mutalisk build to deal with the tanks over here. Used Queens in the meantime to stall the tank. Delayed my link speed as I had complete vision on his army with an overlord that I positioned here. So I always knew if he would move out, and I saw nothing, so I did not have to build any links. Dealt with the tanks without any problem, droned up 3 bases, took my 4th and my 5th base, got my delayed upgrades, then I started Swarmhosts. Once I was comfortable on 3 bases, then droned up my 4th a little bit, had a nice Baneling count, made the switch to Corruptors from my Mutalisks as they did not fare too well against Liberator and Widow Mines. Used Swarmhosts to completely ravage this mineral line, not once or twice, but 3 times, almost taking out the orbital as well. Could have also used them over here into the mineral line. You can see that in another game on this map. And then, once I was maxed, I got my hive, got my 3-3 upgrades, Ultralis Cavern, and just eventually cleaned up his army and won the game. I hope you liked this quick game about 2H Muta into Swarmhost, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for subscribing, I'm out, bye.